Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrine's Google Hangout. I'm your host, Carl Albert, and you have now entered into the Hangout. Israelites and economics is pretty much the topic of the day. We need a guideline for the communities. It's a lot of different Israelite fashions and communities out there and stuff, and all I'm trying to figure out, how to make a dollar and how to, further advance the message of the gospel. I guess this is what most of them trying to do for us, pushing the gospel of the kingdom. Some may not be doing it. They may have their own personal agenda, and it might just be get money. You know what I'm saying? Just get money. But people with more money come more problems. We know this from the late, great, notorious B.I.G. With more money come more problems. So we got to have a stable mindset when dealing with economics and things of that nature. We got to understand what type of problems it brings and stuff, and what type of answers that what all it answer. It answer a lot of problems, but some things it can't answer, So let's just do a simple little thing right here. Bible. Here we go. We're going to go to Matthew's right quick. And we're going to pick it up at 5. Matthew chapter 5. My bad. We're going to pick it up at verse 17. So it reads, "Think not that I come to destroy the law, other prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, to heaven and earth pass, one jot and one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law to all be fulfilled." Right? These are verses that people use to hate on the law and try to argue and fight that one jot and one tittle has been taken away. And you can't really argue and fight with them that it's not, but you have to deal with the jots or the tittles that's been taken away, right? The ones that was added because of sin most definitely are the ones that was taken away once you take the spiritual resurrection for your mental capacity goes. When you go from the carnal mind to the spiritual mind, then you're no longer, quote unquote, under the law. We'll figure out what law that is and everything in another sit down in another video chat. So it said, "For verily I say unto you, to heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle, in no wise pass from the law, shall in no wise pass from the law, to all be fulfilled." And all that needed to be fulfilled about Jesus in his first coming has been fulfilled. The second part hasn't been fulfilled yet, So, "Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments," right, "and shall teach man so, shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven." Remember the gospel of the kingdom that I was talking about? Well, here's the gospel of the kingdom, the good news to those who keep the law, right? It said, "Whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach man so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven." And y'all, we do have economics, laws of economics in the Bible. Tell you about keeping wages. It tell you about a lot of stuff. And economics is not just the dollar bill or the fiat currency and stuff. It's about getting it. You have to have an operation to get money. You have to set up an operation. You have to set up institute. You have to set up stuff. And to do that, you got to have the proper mindset, because you can't be robbing the people. You can't put it up. You can't set it up usury. You can't, based up on the law, right? And remember, one jot and one tittle should not pass away from the law to all be fulfilled. And all that needed to be fulfilled was fulfilled. But what are the jots and the tittle? It's the economical texts, scriptures, laws and stuff? Is it the love thy neighbor laws, the things that tell you how to treat your brother and your sister, how to not suffer sin upon them, warn them of certain things to get that blood off your hand and stuff? We'll get into that, right? So it said, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Whether if you like it or not, they shall receive that honor, right? For I say unto you that except your righteousness, right, shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. And the scribes and the Pharisees, people, if you ever read about them, we'll go to it, right? We'll just go to it right quick. Matthew 23. Right? Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples. This is Matthew 23:1, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe what they say, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. They have lip service, but deeds don't match the lip service. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. So now you're going to carry the heavy burden, right? But you have to carry the heavy burdens. Most, they just give you the lip service, and they're not going to do the things that they advocate or speak, right? 5, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, right? And this is to be seen. You wear a certain type of clothing, hat, shoes, pants, necktie, bed sheet or whatever, but it's all to be seen. You know what I'm saying? A white t-shirt, a pair of blue jeans, and just a plain old pair of Nike sneakers. You might not stand out in the crowd. You might just look like a common person, but you might be the one that's teaching, the commandments and gonna be called great in the kingdom. But you just a common person, but the one that's flying jiggy and got on the priestly garments or got on, the gay clothing, you know what I'm saying? Then, they might be recognized by men as someone that's got, the gold chain and this and that and everything, right? So it said they broaden their phylacteries and stuff that they might be seen of men, right? And love the uppermost room at feasts and the chief seats in synagogues. So you find them sitting amongst, the elite, the elitists and different people. You find them, like you can find in churches. You go to the church, you see the pastor up there, you see the other pastors or, whatever you want to call them, sitting up there with them. They want that. They want to be on that podium that's up high, that's sitting over the people. But then the pastor standing up and his podium is up higher and he's standing over the people, to be over the people, to be seen, because they in the front of the crowd, right? So it said 7, and greetings in the market, right? And to be called of men rabbi, right? Master, right? Be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all of ye are brethren. Call no man rabbi, right? Unless he's a rabbi over people or master over people, I guess then you can say, well, he's their rabbi. Especially if people calling them a rabbi or their rabbi. Well, he is their master. You know what I'm saying? So, peace. Shout out to the people in the chat. What's up? Look like Sal Showtime at Debate Talk for You. If y'all know about Debate Talk for You, the brother got a blog talk radio where he had debates and stuff. lectures, different people coming over talking stuff, you know. Check him out. So as we see, the scribes and the Pharisees, what they do for visual. They do to be seen of men and women and to be glorified. And at the same time, you receive benefits for being the man, right? Being this person of high esteem and stature in the community. We read about it in the books of James, right? In the writings of James, where it talks about the gay clothing and stuff. You might have thought I made that up. Well, nah, it ain't a makeup. It's actually written in the Bible. Gay clothing, right? Happy clothing, you know, shiny, this, that, and everything else. So let's read on. We at 8. Be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren. That's the way we, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? What's happening, brother? This is the spirit of the 60s and the 70s. How you doing, sister? How you doing, brother? They still do these things in church. That's when the Black Power movement was moving, really, right? And it's saying, call no man your father up on earth, for one is your father, which is in heaven. Now that just dealt with, you know, Judaism and Roman Catholicism, Christianity, right? That Roman Christianity. Neither be called you master, for one is your master, even in heaven. But he that is greatest amongst you shall be your servant, right? So now servitude in itself, as Booker T. Washington was explaining when he was saying we must take much pleasure in plowing the ground and doing things of this nature, working with our hands and stuff. We should have much pleasure in that as, you know, writing a poem or writing some great lecture or speech or whatever, right? Because working with your hands and giving lip service is two different things. You could be a great orator and talk to the people and inspire the people. But once again, what did the scribes and Pharisees do? They did the same thing. They talked to the people and laid heavy burdens on them and then look for them to go out and do it. But them themselves, what it say, one move, one finger. So those are your lecturers today. Those are your intellectuals today, right? They could tell you how to solve the problem, this and that. They claim to. And they go about doing it. But them themselves will not serve the people. They're not going to go out and do the things that need to be done to make it functional, right? And this is what this whole text is about, right? This is what the whole text is about. We seeing these are instructions laid down in the text about dealing with the law, statutes, and commandments, which the scribes and the Pharisee they tend to view off from what's written, right? We'll get to some of the intrinsic principles pretty soon on how to deal with these things, right? So it say 11 again, but he that is great amongst you shall be your servant, and whosoever shall exalt himself with the fly garments and this, that, and stuff, right, shall be abased. And he that is humble, he that shall humble himself shall be exalted, right? The humble dude, the quiet dude, the one that's just doing the work, whether it be making the YouTubes or the blog talk or this and that, or even as I said about debate talk for you, you know, other channels out there, Kaliam L, you know, he didn't kind of slide away from doing the work, you know what I'm saying, and just being a servant to everyone. He's kind of, you know, fell into the system in the rank of madness, you know. But it's all this we do for economics as well as getting the message out, the Sinetta TVs, all the different, you know, platforms out here and stuff, right? We do these things, some of us say we do these things, lip service again. We do these things to bring information to the community, to bring enlightenment to those that may not know about it. Those that's working the 9 to 5, we supposed to be servants unto them, doing the work and getting the information or bringing people on the platform that brings the information that they need, right? And serving them in that capacity because they don't have the time working the 9 to 5s, even doing the 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. They don't have the time to sit down and just, you know, do all this research and stuff. You know, so you find people with the GoFundMe's and this and that, and they want to get paid for sitting out here doing the research and stuff for you. So the Israelite community have, you know, quote unquote, learned the ways of the heathens. And I'm going to say it like that because the heathens are trying to reflect the Hebrew Israelite or Israelite culture, however you know the nation of Israel to be called. A lot of people use the term Hebrew Israelite. I don't really market and promote that term. I just promote Israel and the nation of Israel. But the Hebrew Israelites are part of the nation of Israel. That's just the byword they choose to go by in this day and time, right? So when I'm speaking of this and talking about this in this manner, I'm doing so because the Israelites had a mystery system too, right? Yes, they had priests, and their whole duty was to sit up and study the laws, statutes, and commandments and the things that the people in the nation was supposed to do. To have social justice amongst the people, you got to have some people that know and deal with laws, statutes, and commandments, things that deal with the civil day-to-day functionality of a community, of a nation or a people or whatever. And all this boils down to, once again, how your business is ran, how you gonna, you know, your dealings with your brothers and sisters and stuff when dealing with commerce and things of that nature, because everybody's producing a product or a good or a service for the community, for the neighborhood, for the, you know, even the church today. You know what I'm saying? Because you have different people that's a part of big denominations of churches, and you have people saying, well, we can provide this for the church, you know, cleaning service. Somebody got to make the money. If you're on the cleaning service, you clean the church. You know what I'm saying? Then you have people that in the band. The Levitical priesthood also has singers and stuff, musicians. You don't think that they got taken care of. They was the Levites. So once again, you see people producing products and services for the nation, for the community, for the people. It's a way that you have to go about doing it, and it's a mentality and a mindset that you got to have. And it's also a service. And what did we just read in Matthew 23:11? But he that is greatest amongst you shall be your servant. They should serve you in whatever capacity that you need servitude in. See, people think servitude is a wicked thing. You know, if you involuntary servitude is a wicked thing. Voluntary servitude is not wicked. When somebody takes you and you then volunteer to wash their car, mow their lawn, you know what I'm saying, fetch or whatever you want to say, they this or that, then, you know, now you under bondage. Now you under the will of somebody else, and you didn't give your will over to them. You know what I'm saying? But if someone said we're hiring or so on and so forth, then that's voluntary servitude. You sign up for the duty of the day, right? And this could go back to one of the last videos I dealt with when Kurt came over, so I can't remember exactly when that was. Maybe that was last Monday. But we was dealing with the what was that? The predators joint I was doing. But I was dealing with the laborers. You know, that was hired out for a penny. It was the first should be last and the last should be first. And he said, I ain't did nothing wrong to you, brother. Didn't you agree for a penny? Well, that's what I gave you for your work. So once again, that shows you the economical position from a biblical perspective that the Israelites should hold, right? So let's go on. Servitude is what we're talking about here. We'll get into that later because, the Bible speaks of voluntary and involuntary servitude, how to deal with servants. Same thing with dealing with economics. The United States of America, the whole world has benefit from the involuntary servitude that they put the Israelites in. You know what I'm saying? Most of us might not be able to recognize it on a world view, right? From a world's view, but us in the United States of America and North America, South America, where we was brought most definitely and put in involuntary servitude, blacks, we can we can show and prove that they benefit a lot off of the labor of our, foremothers and forefathers, right? So let's read on though. Let's check it out some more, because we're reading about the scribes and the Pharisees and the mindset. So we just got through saying the greatest amongst you shall be your servants. 12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against man. And in this case, the kingdom of heaven comes with also prosperity. Now, you got your prosperity ministries, this, that, and the other. A lot of people think they wrong in what they do. They're not wrong in what they do, teaching prosperity and things of that nature. It's just that they're not teaching it right, and their motivation for teaching it is wrong. But the kingdom of God comes with abundance. It comes with prosperity. It comes with all of that. If the economic system is used right and the people that's ahead of it don't use it in an unjust way, where they hoarding the people tithes and offerings for themselves and trying to get themselves jet planes and this and that, and trying to get the church or the organization to buy them a mansion and stuff to live in and things of that nature. Remember, he is exalting himself or herself if you become a pastor of a church or a denomination or whatever you want to call it, a organization or whatever, a ministry, because they got all kind of names out. George Meyer ministry, Creflo Dollar ministry, this, that, and the other. A minister is one that serves the people too. That's the servant. I minister unto your needs, right? But most of these people minister unto the lust of the people. And whatever they lust for, that's what they feed them. Like, you want to know this and you really want to get into this, well, then I'm a philosopher about it. It's no different than the conscious community today. That's why I stated earlier that that community basically have bit, the way to get money from the Israelite system, in which the church people of today use it, take it and use it. They just, both of them haven't perfected it to the degree where they serve in the community, and the church or the conscious community could be our welfare system. Then we can get off the belly of the beast, the tits of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talking about liberation and, economic freedom and group economics, this, that, and everything else. But they not really looking at what we do and what's going on with us. If we did it in a proper manner, we can be the welfare system of the community. Meaning, group economics can be practiced, and then the money you get from it, you got to see that you got to put it back in the people. You got to build for the next generation. You got to make sure that they are educated in a way, in a manner where they can do computer business now. They can do all these different operations that their mothers and fathers doing now, and even exceed in these fields. Go beyond that, which the first generation laid down. But the foundation got to be proper. It's got to be right. That's the only way you're gonna be able to build up on it, and it remains stable, right? And no system in the world today is everlasting. It's not. If it's not built up on this, good or bad, it ain't lasting. It hasn't lasted. It hasn't stood the test of time. So let's get back to this. Then I'm gonna get into some of them principles a little bit. Like I said, we're gonna go and deal with it a little bit. I really don't want to be here that long, but you know, gotta have something that's comprehensible. You gotta put something out there, you know, without leaving the people in like, I wanted more, but he left me. So I'm gonna sit here and put some more work in. So where we at now? Woe to the hypocrites, 13, right? But woe unto the scribes and the Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against man. For ye neither go in yourself, neither suffer you them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you devour widow houses, right? And for my mind is stuck. Penitence, but however you say it, pretenance, however, make long prayer. Therefore, ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, for you compass sea and land to make one proselyte. And when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourself. So we see the scribes and the Pharisees, the hypocrites, the ones that talk it but don't walk it. They then create a clone of themselves, right? And then that clone is worse than them. So then that's when people get into the generational curses, this, that, and the other. And we wonder why we today are doing worse off than those that came before us. Those that organized and created the civil rights movement. Those that organized and built, you know, the Pan-Africanist movement. Those that organized and built the Black national movements and different things. And it grew generation after generation. But then it came a time where people was just flapping their gums and wasn't nobody putting in no physical labor no more. And if you really studied history, you can find out the moment where we ourselves stopped being under, you know, the whip, you could say. Once we was given a certain freedom and liberation, right, and able to integrate into their system and become a part of their, you know, after Martin Luther King them, right? Martin Luther King brought us in and integrated us into their system. We see that then they start destroying their system. They start creating and taking us from an agriculture communities and start taking us into factories and stuff. And from the factories and stuff, they created more and more machinery to cut down the labor of the people. We start taking man and sit them on the sideline because we got machines and we got, you know, robots and different things now. That's what we get further and further in the future, and failing to realize that, you know, machinery, computers and stuff is taking over the jobs that some of us could do. You know, people can't add, subtract, divide, and do different things because they use calculators and stuff. They get on the computer. They don't sit down and do it no more. You know, truly to tell you the truth, the only people that really use math nowadays is drug dealers. They use mathematical equations more than your average person because they cooking up, weighing it, and doing this and that. But see how skill levels now are diminishing, how verbal communication is diminishing because people using text all the time to communicate. No one wants to pick up the phone and talk to the other person because most of the time they lying to you anyway. And they don't want the record of you communicating in that manner. They want to put the dry text out there because it helps in you know, lying and deceiving. But anyway, let's go to Leviticus right quick. And this is a civil law, right? This is not one of your 10 commandments, and it's not found written in the layout of the 10 commandments, but the Ten Commandments, the last five, most definitely, without an argument, boils down to this Leviticus 19 and 18. Let me find it. And you'll see it's written amongst other civil, how to deal with people laws, right? Civil laws. We'll start out at 19 and 1. It said, Moses, being a writer, right? And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy, right? Holy just means separate, people, separated. It's sanctified and separated for a good task, right? Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God, right? Honor thy mother and thy father. And it said, Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I'm the Lord your God. Now, you know what that would do to the economic system of this world, in the sense that this white man's world, all the different idols that they set up, we know all of them ain't molten and stuff, but you can go to a wax museum and see Prince, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Michael Jordan, and other people. You know, they got statues that they resurrect to them people, and they got wax museums with them in it and this and that, you know, and people pay money for that, right? But if you didn't deal with those type of things, and even images for us, posters and stuff, you would cut down on, you know, on the money that they receive from, you know, giving you this stuff back to back, even TV shows and stuff, you know, like American Idol, this, that, and everything else. You know, them people made money giving you a quote unquote American Idol. And the ones that they set up still making money today. They can bring them back. They can, you know, lease them out to certain venues, and it's economics though, right? But if you don't accept their idols in any shape, form, or fashion, you cut their dollars, because that's how they make their money, off of spiritual idolatry. Truly, spiritual idolatry. You know, if you stop buying red, black, and green flags, those that make it won't make no money. If you stop buying unks, those that make it won't make no money. If you stop buying crosses, crucifix, those that make them won't make no money. And if you didn't let an idol like Notorious Big put on a Jesus piece, then Kanye West and all the rest that start rocking Jesus pieces, you know, wouldn't make no money. So when you idolize somebody and follow their idolatry, that which they worship, then that's another thing that brings about economics in the community. And so if you worship the God of Israel in a proper manner and brought him his tithes and offerings and stuff, think about his storehouse, what would be in there, because you wouldn't be buying all them Jordans and stuff and worshiping a pair of shoes, or the idolizing the man that, you know, image on the side of the shoe or whatever, right? They even show pictures of Michael walking down the street and he's not wearing Jordans. He don't even care to wear a shoe like that. He done gave his name. His name has become a brand, and so on and so on, so for Nike to make money. Anyway, let's just try to show y'all the, you know, the principles that I'm talking about. So it says, let's see where we want to go. We see now we dealing with Eden, dealing with the harvest in verse 9. When you reap the harvest of your land, basically you leave some of it for the poor. Verse 10, you see, and thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I'm the Lord your God. You got to leave something for the poor and the stranger, right? That's part of his civil, not truly just economic, but civil duties, right? But I guess you could say that is economic because you reap what you sow. So if you leaving part of your, your harvest and stuff out there where the poor and the stranger, which you should be giving servitude to a member of the welfare system, that's welfare. Now they can eat and everything, but the law said they weren't supposed to get a basket and take it out. So it's like they stealing, you leaving it for them, and you can say eat as much as you want, and when you get full, go on. Because now whoever else can come along, they can eat as much as they want, get full, and go on. But if you take it and put it in a basket and start taking it away with you, then that's where the gluttonous come in. That's where the you know what I'm saying? That's what you going overboard, taking from the system and not allowing other peoples to, benefit from the system. I'm trying to put it all in the economical, the economics of the thing, right? So we get to 11. You should not steal, neither deal falsely, nor lie one to another. Now, this is where you get trust, a man of his word, right? This is where you get the trust come in. Now we can now we can make money with each other. Now we can deal with each other because I can trust if you tell me the product is good, it's good. If you tell me you did what you were supposed to do, is good. Goods and services, depending on what service you change my oil, I can, come to you and I feel like you changed it and you didn't put no, cheap oil in it, this, that, and the other, the oil bottles that you got up there, that's the oil that you're using. You ain't just got them up there for show and then you're using something else that's cheaper in my engine or whatever. The gas that you selling, that it's the proper gas and it's not watered down, gonna mess up my fuel injection and different stuff because you know what I'm saying, you defrauding me. You saying you selling me one thing and, people, we could deal with economics and like I said, the intrinsic principles from the Bible or whatever, and just deal with the mentality of one that will be calling themselves producing a good and a service for the community. Peace to the people in the chat. So, as y'all know, I just try to lay down other talking points that other people can join in on, because most of the talking points that's in the community today it's not liberating. It's not breaking us away from faulty systems and things of that nature. It's not allowing us to prosper. People afraid of prosperity because of the prosperity ministers out there. But we're supposed to prosper. We're supposed to be able to function in a better capacity than what we're doing, and that is what it is. So 11, we ain't stealing, we ain't frauding each other, 12, and you should not swear by my name falsely, neither should thou profane the name of the Lord God, the Lord, right? Now that in itself, when you say you Israel and you're doing business in that, what I'm saying, I guess even with Hebrew Israelite, seeing that Israel is in Israelite, when you going out there in his name and you doing these things, once again, for my name's sake, where his name is Israel, if y'all don't know. And if you take that name for his business or whatever, like my business brand and name is Israel Doctrine. This is saying it's his doctrine. This is his teachings, not mine. These are the nation's teaching. These are the nation's, precepts and understanding that we should have amongst the nations. So, yeah, I've been wilding out with it. Good cop, bad cops. I got some good cops out there. I'm the bad cop. But even the bad cop gonna have to clean up his act. So, 13, thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired should not abide with thee all night until the morning. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear the Lord but fear thou God. I am the Lord. Ye shall not, ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness thou shalt judge thy neighbor. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer amongst thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. For I am the Lord. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let the, and it goes into sowing and reaping and all of that, right? Lying colonel with woman and everything. We see these are civil ordinance. So loving thy neighbor, that's a civil ordinance. You got to see how it works in the civil matters though. But if no one is talking about social justice and civil matters and things of that nature, then how can you comprehend how that's supposed to tie into stuff? So let's go to Deuteronomy, because it deals with the safety. It deals with safety, right? And if you have a business, because most people say in this day and time, a lot of Israelites talk about homeschool. Okay, so you got to secure your home so these children are daycare, so these children can be safe in your sukasa, mikasa sukasa thing, right? In your home. So it said, when thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for the roof, right? That thou bring no blood upon thy house. If any man fall from thence, thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seed. You know, we got oh man, I'm trying to think about. That's the deal with the house. The diverse seed is where people come up with all this artificial food and stuff today that they selling people, right? Um, lest thou fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. You know, we got all kind of it's not organic. I forget the names of it. I don't deal with fruits and vegetables and agriculture stuff like our forefathers. Some people probably do. I ain't planted nothing in the ground in a long time and try to bring it out. But people, this, these just the things that we have to start focusing on. If we're gonna debate something, then let's start debating this. You know what I'm saying? What is the best economic system from our ancestors? You know what I'm saying? If you say you're not a commission or a person from Canada or the Nile Valley, but that's the culture you choose to subscribe to, then what was their economic system like? Then we could get into, the pharaohs or the Nasuts, and we can look at those to try to imitate them today and see if they was about, spreading the wealth, the love, the economics, and allowing everybody to eat, or what's it the Nasut and the priests, the intellectual people, right, that studied, certain things, if those two work together to manipulate the poor and not to serve the better of society or the whole, but their own lust and stuff. And we can see how all these things, relate to the day. We can see how the Israelites, the ones that was wicked, how they went about financial gain. Where, they was even selling, the treasury room out to people to live in it. You know what I'm saying? How that when you truly had a man of God out here working, Um, especially when you go Old Testament. The Levites couldn't do the job unless the tithes and the offerings came in there to take care of them, because that was their only portion. It's the only thing they had. You know what I'm saying? And when a man trying to, do the work of the Lord and waiting on the food or the offerings or the money or whatever to come to the altar and it never comes, then eventually he gonna say, well, I don't want to do the work of God no more. Or not that I don't want to, I can't. I gotta go work. I gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to deal with, people. Covetousness, you know what I'm saying? When you coveting the position of, a certain office or whatever, because, to be the head of the church or the congregation, especially in the Sunday churches, it's a certain salary that comes with it. A lot of Israelite camps, they don't pay salaries. Some of them may. I don't know all the inner workings of, each camp and stuff, but I know some do and some don't. So then people want to be the man because it comes with a salary, and so they covet in positions. Now, it's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to talk about, people. It's a lot to deal with. And, amongst those that call themselves the faithful, or being a part of the nation of Israel, whether you are homeborn or bought with money or bought with the blood, sojourning, becoming a part of the Commonwealth, it's so much that we have to deal with, and so much we have to deal with. We don't have to even have to worry about another nation or nationality or people or whatever. We got to deal with the Commonwealth that we have amongst each other, and we got to make sure that we deal with each other without the alt and the craziness and the, man. That's if we gonna be able to help each other financially and otherwise. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why it's a problem that we can't go from town to town, city to city, state to state, even nation to nation, sitting down talking about the national perspective of our nation with other nations and stuff. We should be able to we should have a gross national product. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna give out all the thoughts and things that I have on it. I just wanted to once again spark another conversation in the community, another dialogue to have, instead of, trying to rehash old debates and arguments and things of that nature. Let's talk about getting money in the nation of Israel. How to benefit us, how we are supposed to be the welfare system for our people. Then therefore people don't have to go around with video cameras and this and that and try to act or exalt themselves over their brothers like we doing the work. Nah, we all supposed to be doing the work. And if you're doing the work and you can't combine with other fashions of the Israelite community, then that tells us once again that maybe you are the one just looking for the joy and the honor that comes from the people for doing the work, but you're not really out there providing your service to others that may want to do the work. You know what I'm saying? So the group economics, as far as Israelites as a group or a community or a nation, is not functioning right because of the one that might be, talking it, but not living it. There's no way in the world that the kingdom of the nation of Israel is not supposed to be a light to the world today. And if they're not, it's due to the fact that they're functioning in lack of knowledge, darkness, this, that, and the other. So someone got to come through, change the dialogue, and change the direction of what we headed. And support the real, don't support the phony. Support those that's out here and trying to actually do it. You know what I'm saying? And keep your eyes and your ears open for those that are actually trying to do it. So with that said, I think I'm gonna bounce But people, 6 o'clock, Monday through Friday, most definitely. Tuesday night is going to be maybe more of a reflection night, dealing with things that need to be talked about the rest of the week or whatever. Long as my reader around, 6 o'clock, we're going to be getting it in. We're going to be teaching. We ain't going to be on the folly. So if you see me broadcasting early like this, or, doing some other things at other time, if you don't like it, that's cool. Just wait till the 6 o'clock hour and more of a edifying topic may be on the table. With that said, I'm going to say peace. So appreciate everybody that tuned in, everybody that was in the chat or whatever. Like I said, I'm trying to bring just a new discussion to the table, and hopefully other people will jump on it and start dealing with the intrinsic principles that deal with economics in the biblical text. You know what I'm saying? With that said, peace.